Welcome everyone to Politically High Tech with your host Elias. This is going to be very tech, cybersecurity oriented type of episode. I've touched this a couple of times with different guests, but I am confident after looking through my archives real quickly, even to my past episodes. I never dived in too deeply. I only talked about like the consumer, ABC level. Like, don't create obvious passwords like welcome 123. Say, can you get a piece safe? Like something as basic as that. What I'm going to talk about here is something much more advanced. It's definitely something better than just a lazy welcome 123 password that the hackers will love because they want to get into your stuff, take your data, get money, or humiliate you, whatever. You don't want them. You don't want them in your personal space. Okay. But he's gonna talk about something much more revolutionary than that. I don't got much of a monologue. All right, let's introduce two of the guests of this episode. He goes by many variants of this name, but for simplicity's sake, we're just going to call him Eli Farhood. Feel free to correct me if I got that wrong.
No, that's perfectly good.
Uh, so, what do you want the audience to know about you? Like, introduce yourself to my listeners and viewers.
Yeah, first, thank you for having me, Elias. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, I come from my background is finance. I was in financial services. I ended my career in finance. I was a portfolio manager, and I pivoted to technology because I became an identity theft victim once. The first time was in 2014, 2015, and the second time was just last year, 2023, where I had thousands of dollars on my cards in fraud. When I fell victim, I thought, I was just a lone person who had been victimized or just taken advantage of. And I realized after looking and researching that actually hundreds of millions of people globally fall victim to fraud. And it's really not their like they're not guilty for falling victim. At the end of the day, there are data breaches that are happening more than often right now. And these data breaches are providing our personal information, our sensitive data, including social security numbers, to pretty much everyone, you know? And hackers are using those data breaches as a great vehicle to hack our accounts and our devices. So they're taking advantage, and abusing that data very, very well. And so what's the outcome? The outcome is that you can get identity fraud, you can get unauthorized transactions on your credit card, you can get an or what they call it account takeover of your checking account. You can have it can get as miserable as going to court and prove your innocence. That's how bad it can get. And when it gets to that moment, the problem lies here is that you become blacklisted person. You become someone who no one wants to engage with business wise. No one wants to do business with you because you had identity theft and your customers. So try to uh, borrow money or get a loan to buy a car or even like rent a house. That can become a real struggle. And so based on all these things that I just mentioned, and I was really, identity became very personal to me. For clients, like I was like, okay, this is too much. It's just crazy what's going on. We make it very easy to do business in this country, but at the end of the day, there's a trade-off, and the trade-off is that anyone who has your information, or if they don't have the full information, they can really go to the dark web, collect the puzzle. What's needed? Let's say I have your first name, last name. I have your address, but I don't have your social security number. That's not very hard. I can just jump into the website on the dark web, buy some data or look at it, right? And I can collect that puzzle again, have your full identity information, and it just takes a phone call to your bank. If I know you bank with Chase, for example, I just call that bank and provide that information. And maybe they'll believe me and I can claim your identity and perhaps access your checking account. That's one way to do it. The other way is that they don't really sometimes want to, steal money from your account. Sometimes they just want to use your name for illicit activities. We call that in cybersecurity money, right? And not just one. There are many, many ways to do illicit activities. The biggest part of it is money. And the problem lies there is that if you fall, I mean, if they fall while conducting that illicit activity, they are not caught. Your name is. And this is how really it becomes very interesting. That's why I always like hear people saying, I'm not a billionaire. Who cares about my information? Like, I don't have anything in my bank account. I'm broke. But it's really not about that. It's not about how much money you have. Sometimes they don't want to take money from your account. Sometimes they just want to use your name as a vehicle to conduct whatever they want to do. And that is the problem that we were faced off. That's the problem I was faced off. Someone like got my information and used it, and pulled my bank and claimed my identity. That was just a wake up.
You said a lot of it, I mean, a lot of basic points, also a lot of profound points. It doesn't matter if you got $1 or $1 billion in your bank account. Hackers could find a way to get that information and conduct business or do whatever they want with your face, your information, not theirs.
Yeah,
So, like you said, your reputation is going to be destroyed, not theirs. So they use your information as a shield, not to be held accountable by the law or anything like that. You're going to be held accountable. I know it sounds weird. You didn't do it. Sadly, that's not good enough. You have to debunk that. And that's not easy because just like you've been a victim twice, I've been a victim twice. One was last month when someone tried to steal $3,000 out of my account just to buy cryptocurrency. And if I didn't prevent that in time, if I didn't have that quick thinking, this guy would have gotten away with $3,000. There was nothing the banks could have done about it if I didn't take quick action. Because once you put it in there, so it's your cryptocurrency, that's it. There's nothing the banks could do. There's nothing I could do. And yeah, it was like a 2 hour battle, but I'm not going to make this about me too much. And then even if you change passwords and all that, that's not even enough. And to your point, massive data breaches are happening a lot more often. I think every single social security has been exposed.
yeah.
So if you're a U.S. citizen, you're exposed.
Uh,
I'm exposed.
everyone.
All right. So, everything you're saying is true and valid. And if people want to disagree and argue, expose your stupidity in the comment section. You might be destroyed. I don't know. Test your luck. All I know is I'm going to document it and just see how foolish you are. And if you want to come in here and troll, it's getting much worse. And when I read your bio, it doesn't matter how cautious you are. You will get caught. And I'm
Absolutely.
a cautious person too.
The problem is that it's really, there's not much you can do. And even if you put a strong password, even if you use multi-factor authentication, there's this issue like once your device is compromised, like hackers have a door to this device, they really can bypass any security stuff from Face ID to two-factor authentication to Google Authenticator to whatever authentication you're using. They can access your private keys if you have them on your device. They can access your password. They can access your business data on the device. That is the real, real problem. And when we started thinking of a solution, we were faced with two realities. First reality is that no one has been able to this date from 100 years to today, since like the digital revolution. No one has been able to protect information. When you hear about Microsoft, which is a $1 trillion company, being compromised, their customers being compromised, their data is being stolen. If Microsoft can't protect itself and others, I'm not just pointing to Microsoft, AT&T just recently as well. So if those multinational companies can't protect themselves, then who can protect me, right? And this is where the problem really lies. We were faced with that reality that you can't protect information. And the only solution we thought of is to authorize who can use your information. We're kind of like giving you back control over your data. You decide who can use it. You decide when they can use it, why they're using it, and from where they use it. It's as simple as that. That was our basic solution. Before even developing any technology, any product, that was the strategic choice we've taken. Okay, there's a lot of data breaches, a lot of abundance of information. The only way that could work, in our view, if you're still using that system that we currently have, is to authorize who can use that information every time you need it. And that's why that was like the genesis, if you want, of the Catch ID product that we created, where you just use your hand to authorize who can use your information on any smart device, not just your device. And that's really cool because you have access to accounts anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, me, I do have I'm gonna play the somewhat cynical devil's advocate just for a second, and I'm trying to be creative here, and that's why I'm happy you're in this show. Instead of just talking bad about the product that I have you in the show, to me that's hourly. What if, and this is just a big one, right? Because it's by the hand. What if a crazy family member, I'm just gonna use a brother, knock the brother out, and use that brother, the one that has access to all the information? Will that work? Will it detect that that person's unconscious and it will deny access, or will it go through?
You mean your brother was able to access your device?
Yeah, because and then the other brother won. Okay, I'm just gonna put more specific. Let's just pretend it was me that had to use a computer. I'm the one that got access to the account. I'm the primary user. My other brother wants to access my account, but I refuse. So he knocks me down. I'm knocked unconscious. He lifts my hand up, and will he be able to breach? That's much rarer because people are more digital these days. But will he be able to breach just because he physically knocked me out?
Great question. We did actually have a conversation on that. I was having this conversation just lately. So what if someone has a gun in your hand? Maybe not your brother, right? And he asks you to wire $5,000, and he's forcing you to scan your hand to send that money. So yeah, we created a solution for that where you can set up a secret gesture that no one knows of, just yourself. And when you do that gesture, we actually can send all your information to the 911, your location, your information that you need help. And, they will come to help you as soon as they can. You see. This is one way we can do it to eliminate at least the incentive for that person to do bad.
Wow, look at you already thought of that. You see, it's good to talk to expert. Ask the crazy questions. You're gonna get answers, people.
Yeah,
I'm doing it for you. If you haven't thought of it, well, you're too afraid to ask. This is it. I mean, this is for your benefit, all right? And I
yeah.
just used a milder example. You used the more extreme example that secret just is gonna work. So yeah, that's a pretty
So
good like yeah,
Elias,
go.
the thing is that when you ask people to stop using password, and their phone becomes password, like replacing passwords with your biometric, you want to make sure that you're providing them top-notch security. You know? The beauty about passwords is that they work on any device, not just your iPhone. And that's how we wanted biometrics to work out. Um, Looking around, if you check all the biometric systems that are really robust in our view, they all depend on a smart on a specialized device to operate. Like here at the airport or Face ID, only if you have that hardware on your iPhone will work, right? Amazon at the Whole Foods, same thing. Hardware is not there. That convenience disappears. And so we wanted to create a product where you're accessing your accounts from any device. It can be your friend's device. And that's to your point. Like, it's not device dependent. It's really agnostic to any device. And so you can use your browser's phone if you want to log email securely. That's because you're using your hand, not your brother's hand. And so we're looking here, there's a link between your identity and your hand versus today, they're pretty much linking your identity to the device. And that's also part of the core problem is that when the device is compromised, you're kind of doomed.
No, yeah, that's so true. Listen here, you tech kids and tech grown-ups. It's true. Once it gets to your device, if you're, I'm a religious person. I'm going to say, if you're blessed, or for the more secular people, lucky, they didn't get that far in your device, yeah, you recover. But once they got all your device information, I think you need to get a new phone. Now, I'm not even sure that's even going to be enough, because a lot of that same information is going to come with you, right? That just accept the device manufacturing number or serial number, wherever the heck it is. I don't want to sound too technical because I don't want to drive away the non-tech nerd audience. Yeah, that's a big
Actually, a lot
problem.
of people, Elias, don't know that their device could be compromised, and actually, a lot of us like have their device compromised one way or another. We just don't know it is compromised until those bad actors find that window where they can take advantage and you know compromise your. So compromised devices are very common, actually, more than people think, and they think like as long as my phone is working, then while it's working, that's good, all good. Actually, no. It could be compromised, and those hackers can be, scanning for that data every day you use your phone. And they could be downloading that information that you're doing on your phone every day as well. And one day, once they can catch something on you, they could start to intimidate you and perhaps extort you, like ask you, hey, um, and they will send you a file. Hey, well, actually, we have a file about you that you're going to do this business. We can actually send this to your competitor. Actually, I had a story about this happening last year, where one business guy, he was compromised without knowing. Hackers, when they were able to, collect all the information they needed, they they started, threatening him. Unless he sends them money, they will share that information with competing companies. So that just tell you an idea of how it can happen.
Oh yeah, the reputational damage is gonna be massive, especially if especially if sadly the victim does not comply with their ransom demands. Yeah, it's this is a tough subject, but it, we need to hear it. We're grown ups. We can't be living in fantastical Disneyland. We need to wake up, sell the coffee, deal with reality. I know it's not easy, but I prefer the harsh truth than the beautiful falsehood. Okay, because at least there's a painful, yes, but it's needed. If I wanted to live, if I want to be in La La Land, I will never talk to Elias. I don't know. He's too negative. He's too paranoid. Who cares? But no, no, no. This is for adults only. And I hope you're adult minded too. There's so many adults out there that act like children. Wake up, wake up. This is not to scare you. This is to empower you, or even offer a product that can solve. I'm open to new ideas because the security is too device centered, right? And that's the big problem. And I'm not going to argue with that, because back in the slightly older days, it was more computer centered. Ever since these smartphones, the main emphasis has been shifted over there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say about that. And anything else you want to add before I start panicking them even more with AI threats?
Yeah, this is the emerging threat, but I really invite anyone who's watching this podcast to check our website, catchid.com, KATSHID.com. We're offering this product right now to everyone. We want to democratize access and provide you access to any device, not just your iPhone, not just a special device. And we're only able to do that by replacing your credentials. with your hand. So basically, your palm or your hand becomes your password. That's our concept. Why we're doing that is because no one can see your hand, but someone can see your password. So let's just eliminate credentials from our lives. Eliminate pain of two-factor authentication, which obviously doesn't work. Like here's a very quick example on how it made my nights miserable. Yesterday, I tried to sign into TikTok, and they gave me like literally 30-second window to provide the code so that I can sign in on another device. And actually, my own device, not another device. And they're sending the code by email. Sometimes emails take longer than 30 seconds to reach out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get that code. I was literally locked out of my account for trying more than 5 times to sign in. It's just insane. Like multi-factor authentication is just should be something of the past. It's so much hassle. And I think this is part of the reason why security doesn't work. Because we're asking everyone to use very complicated tools to secure their identity. And that's the problem. People want something easy and they don't want to deal with complicated codes here and codes there and passwords and strong password and use a capital letter, use a dollar sign. Oh my God, this is just becoming crazy. And password managers, like I heard about, okay, password managers can remove that pain. But password managers sometimes can be dysfunctional and they can be compromised. So hackers have access to all your passwords if they get access to that file. I mean, just think about that. And it's just, our approach is that easy security is the only security that works. People are not willing in that day and age to deal with complicated security. And that's why we're still using passwords. That's why Face ID, for example, doesn't replace passwords, right? Because I get this question a lot. Why Face ID doesn't do what you do? Well, because Face ID is only available on a device that has the hardware Face ID, and they cannot eliminate credentials. Otherwise, you can only log in from that device. So good luck for you. That's why they have to keep enabling those credentials to work elsewhere on any other device. And so this is where the problem lies. Unless you eliminate those credentials, unless you eliminate what hackers are trying to steal, you haven't really done much. And that's why we decided to eliminate credentials and replace them with just your hand, your palm, and use that as a password. No one can steal it, and no one can take it away from you, and you will never forget. You know, uh, People struggle with resetting passwords. Sometimes it's just killing, right? And managing them. If you work at an enterprise, you have to change your password every 3 months. Like think about that and manage those serious passwords. It's just too much.
Oh, no, I absolutely agree. I'm just going to chime in real quick because you said so much engaging points that everybody could relate to one way or another. I mean, I'm just going to go back to let's go back to 2 decades ago. We didn't have that much accounts or emails. So the fact that we got to memorize all these passwords is extremely demanding. Even some of the sharp minds that's great with memory and typing passwords will have a hard time. And once you're locked out, oh, yeah, those codes, those digit codes, or whatever they do with it. Sometimes it's a combination of letter or numbers, sometimes a photo, whatever. Yeah, but the fact that TikTok is 30 seconds and sometimes a slow email could take 5. Yeah,
After
you're already locked out. I mean, a lot of them are more like one. Yeah, some was like 30 seconds, a few was like a minute. But yeah, once the email comes in like 5 minutes later, yeah, you're already locked out. I mean, for me getting to the Facebook, it was actually the hardest thing, but I managed to crack that one. But oh my goodness, spending 2 hours trying to figure that out. Very, very, very frustrating. Very, very annoying. And I would consider myself to be somewhat tech savvy person. What the heck? Yeah, you're blocking out the bad people. You're also blocking me out as well. So,
Yeah, and,
and
and I mean, really
yeah,
thank you for having me, Elias. And I really want to say that there's an opportunity now for everyone to also invest in our business and be part of it, be part of that movement. So they can check our website. There's an invest button there. If they click on it, it takes us to our crowdfunding page. So we're very excited about this moment where we share our profits and share our growth with everyone else so that they can get a catch ID for free just by investing with us as little as $100. Not because it's a large amount, but it's because they voted, yes, I want to use catch. Yes, I want to get rid of passwords. Yes, I don't want to use two-factor authentication, which is very hassle. I want freedom and access on any device, and I want security as well. And so we really are inviting people to check our website, check our funding page, and if they really love the product, please back us. We're very happy to have you on board as an investor and growing with us as well, because the future is very.
Yep, and I will share that link in the description as well. Be right there, especially on the Eli Farhood section. I always have a section for the guests in there. And I make sure it's separated so it look nice and neat. You don't have to go through all the letters because I know how it is. I do a lot of eye scanning and it gets annoying to see all that gobbledygook together. Nice and separated, you'll see it right there. Always share the guest website and the product because look, they're here. They want to spread value and promote the product. Okay, me, I'm open and I'm fine with that because I only provide value to people with options and solutions. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. It's check in the description if you're tired of me just yapping. Just scroll through. You're gonna see it on YouTube. You're gonna see it in Buzzsprout or even the website. It's going to be there. You should be able to click. It's as simple as a click. Alrighty then. I don't talk bad enough about AI. I think I'm becoming a little too positive. You're gonna help me balance that out. What are the emerging threats of AI regarding this innovative security tool? Yeah.
It is really big, really big. The emerging threats of AI, I can. We need another episode just to talk about that. But briefly, I can say that AI is being used by scammers in a very good way. So it's automating pretty much the process. It's recreating legit websites that look like your bank's website. They're recreating emails that look like professional emails. They're trying to interfere when you visit the website. They kind of mask it so that when you put your password, they grab it. Like they're using AI very very well, and from now on, phishing will be more efficient for them. And the fact that they can automate that and just do it on a mass scale, I think more people will fall to fraud. And the market is already growing a lot now. Fraud is just insanely growing at 17% every year. So it's already a big market. It's going to be gigantic by 2030. So we think AI is a great problem. And we're actually building our technology to fend off that threat. We want to make sure that you're secure no matter what happens to your information, no matter what happens to your biometric too, because your biometric can be stolen. Someone can snap a picture of your image, right? Predict that. So we created our technology to protect against that being threat.
Absolutely. And that's going to be of course, your motivations to update catch 2.0 or 3.0, whatever point O's you to go through just to update that gets emerging. Yeah, I mean, that was brief. That was very profound because AI automates so much, and yeah, they can automate taking passwords. Yeah, phishing, yeah, forget it. They can fish like a million in one click. Instead of like, oh, let me get this guy, this girl. No, automate that. Find me susceptible targets and put it right there. I think you have to you're gonna need some kind of detectable AI that you'll know is coming from AI, something like that. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'm sure there's already tools that can just detect that. Oh, this was generated, of course, by AI. This is AI. I mean, I talked about using it for school papers, but we try we try to bring this to cybersecurity. Something that this could be useful to detect and catch bad actors using AI just to steal with great automation in such a massive scale. So even though that was brief, but I think that covers a heck of a lot. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Anything else you want to add before I wrap this up?
No, thank you so much for having me, Elias. It was a pleasure to show up on your podcast, and if anyone watching this, they learn something about to protect themselves. They learn something about the risks, about the identity, because we tend to take things lightly sometimes, like who cares and who doesn't. But at the end of the day, when you fall, when you become a victim, when you have thousands of frauds, when the investigation of that fraud puts you at guilt and you feel hopeless and lonely, this is where those threats were real. And so don't take it lightly. Identity fraud is such a serious risk to your life, to your financial life, to your well being. There's a lot of emotional and mental problem that you have to deal with once you become a victim. And I've been through this, so I know exactly what is waiting.
You are not safe, no matter how cautious you're trying to be. Trust me, I've dealt with it twice. I resolved it, but to his point, to Eli's point, it causes great emotional, psychological, social, and even legal pain.
Absolutely.
So, and let me throw in financial pain, obviously. That's super obvious, but yeah, it's, yeah. So all I gotta say is do the best you can. Invest in this catchid.com. Okay. That's one of your solutions because, listen, the breaches are just getting more massive. It's happening more. Okay. And the dark web, once you know how to navigate through the dark web, they get your information. Very simple. I've seen videos of this. It's scary. Okay. So this is, don't look at it as, oh, I gotta pay for something. No. Join the revolution. Join the revolution. That's the only way real change is gonna happen. Or you can just put up with this device oriented security and get robbed knowingly and most importantly, unknowingly. Okay? So that's what I'm gonna say about that. I wish I could end that in a more happier note, but this is like the darkest AI episode yet. And I gotta bounce out. I think I was becoming a little too positive. So thank you for bringing some balance to this podcast because I want to keep it nuanced. So yeah, definitely have to bring the darkness into this um part of the podcast. So I was afraid I was becoming too light. I was getting too lighthearted with it. So I thank you for that. Normally not like for the person. I mean, I see pros and cons to try to be rational, but you know, you could blame him why this episode's dark. But hey, it's better for you to know your demons, know your problem, than just I don't know putting your head in the sand. Okay, that's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
let's act together, Elias. And the future is bright. No, there are solutions. There are solutions and products that can help and provide that convenience and security at the same time. This is what we want. At some point in the future, you don't need to have your phone. You don't need to have your wallet. You don't need to have even your credit card. Your biometric can just make a purchase any. It's as simple as that. The future is very bright. We just need to act and back technology is not just cash. Any technology you can back today that has the potential to bring that future to fruition and help us be free. We don't want to be connected to devices. We're humans, and we want our identity to be connected to our body, our biometric, and we are supposed to control who can use our information. That's our solution, and we hope other technological companies, other technology companies follow suit, and maybe they're going to be competitors. We're very happy with that because we want to find a solution. Like I said, identity was very personal for me, and I wish I didn't do that. To be honest, I was having a very good job, well paid job, but when it happened to me twice, I decided to do this, and I had to compromise a lot to do this. You know, just leaving your stable job and starting a business is not a joke. It's a really serious challenge, and I took that challenge because I just wanted to find a solution to this, and so I wish someone else did it. Let's put it this way, but I'm also happy that I'm able to contribute to the solution. So yeah, now the future is very bright. There's no dark anything here. The current situation is somehow dark. Yeah, I agree. But the future is bright, and technology is, in my view, the gateway to reinvent the future. And that
Okay, I'm not adding any more because I'll make it darker. So I'm just gonna be quiet, be wise. He had a light back. And, explain a very dark problem, but it can't be resolved. It's solvable. That's the most important. Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. So from wherever or whenever you listen to this podcast, you have a blessed day, afternoon, or night.